Hello, my friends. Do you like football? Do you dream of playing for your country one day? Then listen carefully. Because today, you will learn English through the story of a boy. A boy who turned his dream into something real. His name is Lamine Yamal. He is young, very young, but he plays with courage, with fire, with heart. Imagine this. You are 15 years old. You walk into a big stadium. Thousands of people are watching you. Your legs shake a little. Your heart beats fast. But when the ball comes to your feet, everything becomes calm. You play. You shine. You make history. That is what Lamine did. He became one of the youngest players ever for Barcelona, and soon after, he scored for Spain. The whole world said his name. In this story, we will follow his journey from a small street in Catalonia to the lights of the biggest stadiums in the world. We will learn English words about dreams, courage, and hard work, and maybe you will also feel that same spark inside you. So, are you ready? Let's begin the story of Lamine Yamal, the young star who shines for Spain. Chapter 1. A Boy from Barcelona. Barcelona. A city of music, sunshine, and football. Every street has a ball. Every child dreams of playing like Messi. And in one small neighborhood, a boy runs with a ball under his arm. His name is Lamine Yamal. He is smiling. He is full of energy. He is only a little boy, but he already knows what he wants. Lamine was born in 2007 in Esplugues de Llobregat, near Barcelona. His father comes from Morocco. His mother comes from Equatorial Guinea in Africa. So his family is full of colors, languages, and traditions. At home, they speak more than one language, sometimes Spanish, sometimes Arabic, sometimes French words too. But one language is always the same, football. Every afternoon, after school, Lamine runs to play. He plays in the park, in the street, in the yard. The ball follows him everywhere. When other kids go home, he stays. He wants to kick one more time, then another. His mother says, "Lamine, come inside. It's late." But he laughs and shouts, "Just 5 more minutes, Mama." The neighbors start to know his name. They say, "That boy, he plays with magic in his feet." Sometimes he plays with boys older than him. They try to take the ball, but they can't. He moves fast, light, clever. He plays not only with his legs, he plays with his heart. At night, Lamine sits by the small TV with his father. They watch Barcelona. When Messi scores, Lamine jumps and claps. One day, he whispers, "Papa, I will play there too." His father smiles. "You must work hard, my son." Very hard. Lamine nods. He understands. The next day, he wakes up early. Before school, he practices. He dribbles between bottles. He shoots the ball against the wall, again and again. His shoes get dirty, but his dream becomes clear. He dreams of the big stadium. He dreams of the red and blue jersey. He dreams of hearing the crowd shout his name. But for now, he is just a small boy from a small place. No fame, no cameras, no trophies. Only love. Love for the game. And sometimes, that is how every great story begins. With one child, One dream and one ball. Chapter 2. The ball and the dream. The ball never leaves his feet. Morning, afternoon, evening. It is always with him. Sometimes old, sometimes dirty. But for Lamine Yamal, it is not just a ball. It is his best friend. He wakes up early before school. Outside the street is quiet. The air is cold. He ties his shoes and starts to run. Tap, tap, tap. The ball rolls beside him like a shadow. He kicks it against the wall. Once, twice, then again and again. He listens to the sound dash, dash, thump, thump, thump. It is like a heartbeat. His heartbeat. When he goes to school, he carries the ball in his hands. The teacher says, "Lamine, no football in class." He hides it under the desk and smiles. He can't stop thinking about the next game. He can't stop thinking about his dream. At lunchtime, he runs to the playground. No time for food, only football. He plays with his friends until the bell rings. Sometimes they play on dry ground, sometimes on wet mud. Sometimes their shoes break, but they never stop. "Goal!" someone shouts. They laugh and fall to the ground. Their clothes are dirty. Their hearts are happy. That is the life they love. At home, Lamine's mother shakes her head. Always football. Always dirty clothes. But then she looks at his eyes, and she sees that light. The light of a dream. She sighs. "Okay, my son, just finish your homework first." He nods and runs out again. Every day feels the same, but also different. Because every day he feels a little stronger. His legs move faster, his control gets better, his dream grows bigger. Sometimes he sits on the small balcony at night. The city is quiet. The moon is bright. He holds his ball close and whispers, "One day, you and I will go to Camp Nou." He smiles to himself. In his mind, he can already see the big lights. He can hear the fans. He can feel the grass under his feet. But dreams are not enough. He knows that. He must work. He must fight for every chance. One weekend, he joins a local match. Older boys play there. They are taller and stronger. But Lamine does not fear them. He takes the ball and runs. He dribbles past one, then another. The crowd on the side starts to cheer. "Who is that boy?" someone asks. "Where did he come from?" Lamine doesn't answer. He only plays. He feels free. For him, the world disappears. There is only the field, the ball, and the dream. After the match, a man in a blue jacket comes to speak. He says he is a coach from a football school. "You have talent, boy," the man says. "Come and train with us." Lamine's heart jumps. He doesn't know what to say. He only nods and smiles. That night, he can't sleep. He looks at the ceiling and whispers, "Maybe this is the first step." He remembers his father's words, "Work hard, my son." And he promises himself, "I will." Every single day. The next morning, he wakes up before the sun. He runs again. The same street, the same ball. But something feels different now. The dream feels closer. The ball rolls fast across the ground. The wind touches his face. He feels alive. He feels ready for whatever is next. And deep inside, he knows. This is only the beginning. Because sometimes the biggest dreams start with the smallest boy and one simple ball. Chapter 3, The Call from La Masia. It was a warm Saturday morning in Barcelona. The sun was soft. The sky was blue. Lamine Yamal was playing, as always. Same park, same friends, same ball. But something was different that day. A man was watching. He stood near the fence with dark sunglasses and a notebook. He didn't shout. He didn't clap. He just watched. Quietly. Lamine didn't notice him at first. He was too busy running, passing, smiling. The game was fast and fun. He dribbled past two boys, shot, and scored. Goal! His friends jumped and hugged him. But the man near the fence wrote something down and kept watching. After the match, the man walked closer. He smiled and asked, "What is your name, son?" "Lamine," the boy answered. "Lamine Yamal." The man nodded. "I'm a coach from La Masia, the Barcelona Academy. We'd like to see you train with us." Lamine froze. For a moment, he couldn't breathe. La Masia, the school of Messi, Xavi, Iniesta, the place where dreams become real. That night, he ran home faster than ever. "Papa! Mama!" The coach said, "I can train at La Masia." His mother looked surprised. His father's eyes filled with pride. "My son," he said softly, "this is your chance. Use it well." The next week, Lamine went to the academy for the first time. It was big, like a small world. Green fields everywhere. Young players in red and blue shirts, coaches shouting instructions, balls flying in the air. He looked around and whispered, "Wow." He felt small, but also ready. A man gave him a jersey with number 10. "Welcome to La Masia," he said. Training was hard, faster, stronger, more serious than anything before. Every boy wanted to be the best. Some were faster, some were taller. But Lamine had something different. Calm control, quick thinking, soft touch. He didn't just kick the ball, he talked to it. The coaches noticed. "Look at this boy," one said. "He plays like he's older than his age." At home, life changed too. He had less time to play with friends, less time for fun, more training, more discipline. Some nights he came home tired. He fell asleep with his shoes still on. But when he woke up, he smiled again. Because he knew why he was doing it. One afternoon, after practice, a coach called him. "Lamine," he said, "you did very well today. You have something special. Keep it." Lamine nodded. His heart beat fast. That night, he couldn't stop smiling. He started to believe. Maybe I can really make it. But not everything was easy. Sometimes he missed his family. Sometimes he made mistakes. Sometimes he felt scared. One day, he lost an important match. He cried alone in the locker room. His coach found him and said, "Lamine, champions fall many times before they win. Stand up, train harder." He wiped his tears and whispered, "I will." And he did. Every morning, every night. In rain or sun, he trained. Slowly, his name began to spread inside the academy. "Did you see that kid, Yamal?" He's amazing for his age. Years passed. The little boy from the street became one of La Masia's brightest stars. He was still young, very young, but the club started to watch him closely. One day, his coach smiled and said, "Lamine, maybe soon you'll train with the first team." Lamine's heart stopped for a second. The first team. Barcelona. The dream. He closed his eyes and remembered that night on the balcony when he whispered to his ball, "One day, you and I will go to Camp Nou." That day was getting closer. The dream was calling, and this time, he was ready to answer. Chapter 4. The First Challenge. Lamine Yamal was now a student at La Masia. He wore the red and blue colors every day. He trained with focus, with passion, with hope. But soon, he learned that talent alone was not enough. At La Masia, every boy was a dreamer. Every boy wanted the same thing: to play for Barcelona. They were all fast, all strong, all smart, and they all worked hard. Lamine was only 12. Small, quiet, still learning. The other players were bigger. Some laughed at him. "Hey, little one," they said, "don't fall with the ball." He smiled, but deep inside he felt the pressure. Every morning he tied his shoes slowly. He looked in the mirror and whispered, "Stay calm. Stay brave." Then he walked to the field. The first challenge came during a big training game. The coaches were watching closely. If he played well, maybe he could move to a higher team. If he failed, he might wait another year. The whistle blew. The game began fast. The older boys ran hard, shouting, passing, tackling. Lamine tried to keep up. At first, he lost the ball. Once, twice, 3 times. A teammate shouted, "Pass faster!" Another said, "Come on, Yamal!" He felt heat in his face. He wanted to cry, but he didn't. He took a deep breath and remembered what his coach once said: "Play with your heart, not with fear." The next time he got the ball, everything slowed down. He saw the space. He moved left, then right. Then, with one soft touch, he passed 2 defenders. The crowd of young players shouted, "Wow!" Even the coach stood up. Lamine smiled. That was the real him. After training, he sat on the grass, breathing fast. His shirt was wet. His legs hurt. But he felt proud. The coach came and said, "Good job today. You made mistakes, but you learned fast. That is what matters." Lamine nodded. That night, he told his parents, "I didn't give up, Mama. I played until the end." His mother kissed his forehead. "That's my boy," she said. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. Each day brought new lessons. He learned how to control the ball in small spaces. He learned teamwork. He learned patience. And he learned that sometimes the hardest battles are inside yourself. One rainy evening, training was almost over. Everyone was tired. The coach said, "One more round." Some players complained, but not Lamine. He ran harder. He pushed his limits. When he fell, he got up again. The coach saw him and smiled quietly. Later, in the locker room, the boys joked and sang songs. But Lamine sat quietly, cleaning his shoes. A teammate asked, "Why so serious, Yamal?" He looked up and said softly, "I just want to be better tomorrow." The boy laughed, but deep inside, he respected him. After a few months, the coach called a small meeting. He said, "We are choosing players for the next youth tournament. Lamine, you are on the list." The room went silent. Then everyone clapped. He did it. He earned his first big chance. That night, he couldn't sleep. He looked out the window and saw the moon. He thought of the long days, the tired legs, the tears he never showed. And he whispered, "This is only the beginning." The tournament would be his first real test. His first chance to show the world what he could do. It would also bring the first people who would doubt him, and the first ones who would believe. But one thing was clear. Lamine Yamal had faced his first challenge, and he was still standing. The boy from the streets of Barcelona was slowly becoming a young warrior of football. Chapter 5. The Youngest Player. The year was 2023. The sun was shining over Barcelona, and in the famous stadium, Camp Nou, something historic was about to happen. A young boy, only 15 years old, was sitting on the bench. His eyes were wide. His hands were shaking. The crowd was loud, singing, shouting, waiting. That boy was Lamine Yamal. He had trained for years. He had dreamed for years. Now the dream was real. The coach turned to him and said, "Lamine, get ready. You're going in." For a second, he didn't believe it. "Me?" he whispered. "Yes, you." The coach smiled. "Show them who you are." He stood up slowly. He looked around. The lights, the cameras, the giant field. It all felt bigger than ever. He took a deep breath. The referee blew the whistle. And then, Lamine Yamal stepped onto the field, 15 years old, the youngest player in Barcelona's history. The crowd began to clap. Some shouted his name. "Yamal! Yamal!" He felt his heart beating fast. But when the ball came to his feet, everything changed. He forgot the noise. He forgot the cameras. He forgot his fear. He just played. His first touch was perfect. He passed the ball, moved quickly, looked confident. He smiled. Because this was home. The older players looked at him and nodded. They could see his focus. They could feel his courage. Even the fans could feel it. Something new had arrived. After the match, people around the world started talking. Who is this young boy? Only 15. He plays like a man. The next morning, his face was on every newspaper. Lamine Yamal, the youngest star of Barcelona. His friends from La Masia called him, "Congratulations, Yamal. You made history." He thanked them, but he stayed calm. At home, his mother cooked his favorite meal. His father said, "I'm proud of you, my son, but remember, stay humble." And he did. Even after that big day, Lamine continued training like before. No parties, no long breaks. He wanted to get better, stronger, wiser. In interviews, reporters asked, "Are you nervous playing with big stars?" He smiled and answered, "No, I just play the game I love." Soon, he played again, this time from the start. He ran with speed. He passed with confidence. And when he touched the ball, the crowd cheered. He was not just a young boy anymore, he was a part of the team. But fame also brings pressure. Everyone was watching him now. Every mistake became news. Every game felt important. Sometimes after training, he sat alone. He looked at his shoes, dirty from the grass. He thought about his journey, from a small street to Camp Nou. And he whispered, "Thank you, God." He knew he had to protect his dream. He had to keep his heart clean, because success can be heavy if you forget where you came from. One evening, after a match, a small boy came to him. "Can I take a photo with you?" the boy asked. Lamine smiled and said, "Of course." The boy held the ball and whispered, "I want to be like you one day." Lamine looked at him and replied softly, "Then never stop believing." That night, as he walked home, he thought, "I used to be that boy." Now, he was the one giving hope, the one making others dream. He was still young, very young, but the world had already seen his light, and everyone was waiting to see what this young star would do next. Chapter 6. The Spanish Jersey. The dream was growing. Lamine Yamal had already played for Barcelona, but now a bigger call was coming. A call from the national team, Spain. One afternoon, his phone buzzed. A message appeared. "Lamine, you have been selected to play for the Spanish national team." He read it twice. His heart jumped. He shouted, "Mama! Papa! Look!" His mother dropped her spoon. His father came running. "What happened?" "I'm going to play for Spain." For a few seconds, the house was silent. Then they all laughed, hugged, and cried. His father whispered, "My son, the whole world will see you now." The next week, Lamine traveled to Madrid to join the team. He looked around the big training center. So many famous players. So many stars he used to watch on TV. Now, he was one of them. The coach smiled and said, "Welcome, Yamal. Don't be nervous. Just play your game." But of course he was nervous. He was only 16, the youngest in the team. Everyone was older, taller, stronger. When he put on the red jersey of Spain, he felt something powerful. He looked at the badge on his chest, the golden crown, the flag, the heart of the nation. He touched it softly and whispered, "For my family. For my dream." The first training was hard. The passes were faster. The runs were longer. The players shouted words he didn't always understand. But he listened. He learned. He adapted. In the evenings, he sent voice messages to his friends at La Masia. He said, "It's so different here, but I love it. I feel alive." His friends replied, "Go show them who you are, Yamal." The day of his first match arrived. The stadium was full. Thousands of people in red and yellow flags. The sound was like thunder. As he stood on the grass, his legs felt heavy. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath. Then the coach shouted, "Lamine! Warm up! You're going in!" He started to run along the sideline. The crowd noticed him. Some fans whispered, "He's only 16. Others shouted his name, "Yamal! Yamal!" When he entered the field, the noise exploded. He looked around and smiled. It was the same feeling as his first time at Camp Nou. Scary, but beautiful. The game was fast. He touched the ball once, twice, 3 times. Each time, he made something happen. He passed. He moved. He shined. At one moment, a defender tried to take the ball from him. Lamine turned quickly, left foot, right foot, gone. The crowd shouted, "Olé!" Even the older players started passing to him more. They trusted him, and he didn't let them down. After the match, the coach came to him and said, "Well done, Yamal. You played with courage." He smiled shyly and said, "Thank you, coach." When he returned to the locker room, he took off his jersey carefully. He looked at the red color one more time. It was wet from sweat, but shining in the light. He held it in his hands and thought, "This is not just a shirt. This is history." Later that night, he sent a message to his parents. "I played today. I'm so happy." His mother replied, "We watched you. You made us proud." He smiled, put his phone down, and stared at the ceiling. He was still young, but now he was a symbol. For his family, for Barcelona, for Spain. And somewhere deep inside, he knew this was only the beginning of something even bigger. The boy who once played barefoot in the streets was now wearing the jersey of a nation, and soon the world would hear his name again. Chapter 7. The Goal That Changed Everything. It was a hot evening in Tbilisi, Georgia. The stadium lights were bright. The Spanish flag waved everywhere. It was a big match, Spain versus Georgia. On the bench, Lamine Yamal waited quietly. He was 16 years old, still new, still learning, but the coach trusted him. At halftime, Spain was winning, but the game was fast. The coach turned and said, "Yamal, get ready. You're going in." Lamine stood up. His hands shook a little. He looked at the field, so green, so huge. He took a deep breath and whispered, "Let's do this." The referee blew the whistle. He ran onto the field. His red jersey shined under the lights. Thousands of people were watching. Millions more on TV. The first few minutes were quiet. He touched the ball, passed it, ran back. He was calm. Then came the moment. A teammate passed the ball to him near the right side. He took one soft touch, then another. The defender moved in. Lamine looked up and shot. The ball flew fast, high, beautiful, straight into the top corner. Goal! For a second, the whole world stopped. Then the stadium exploded. People screamed, jumped, waved their flags. His teammates ran to hug him. They shouted, "Bravo, Yamal! Bravo!" He couldn't believe it. He, the youngest player in Spain's history, had just scored his first goal for his country. On the screen, big letters appeared. Lamine Yamal, 16 years old, record breaker. He looked up at the sky and smiled. His eyes were wet. He thought of his family watching from home. He thought of the streets where it all began. And he whispered, "Thank you." After the match, reporters surrounded him. "Lamine, how do you feel?" one asked. He laughed nervously. "I feel happy." "Very happy," he said. Another asked, "Did you expect to score?" He shook his head. "No. I just played with my heart." That night, social media exploded. Clips of his goal went viral. Fans around the world shared his name. "Remember this kid," one wrote. "He is the future." At home, his parents cried as they watched the replay. His mother covered her face and whispered, "That's my son." His father smiled proudly and said, "I told you, one day the world will know his name." The next morning, newspapers everywhere talked about him. The youngest scorer in Spain's history. Yamal, the new light of football. But Lamine stayed humble. He went to training as usual. He listened to the coach. He kept working hard. Reporters asked him again, "What will you do next?" He answered softly, "I'll keep learning. I want to help my team." Still, that goal changed everything. It made him a symbol of hope. Kids across Spain and Africa started saying, "I want to be like Yamal." In one small park in Barcelona, a little boy kicked his old ball and shouted, "Goal! I'm Yamal!" The same way Lamine once said, "I'm Messi." Life had come full circle. That one goal, just one, turned a dream into history. It showed the world that age doesn't matter. What matters is courage, heart, and belief. Later that week, Lamine sat alone in his room. He watched the replay again. He smiled, but also felt calm, because he knew this was not the end. It was only the start of something greater. He whispered to himself, "You did it once. Now keep going." And as he turned off the light, he could still hear the sound of the crowd, the echo of that moment. The goal that changed everything. Chapter 8. Fame and Pressure. After that famous goal, everything changed. Lamine Yamal was no longer just a young boy. He was a star, a name that people around the world started to know. His photo was on magazine covers. His videos were all over social media. Every time he walked in the street, people pointed and said, "That's him! That's Yamal!" At first, it felt amazing. Everyone wanted to talk to him. Children asked for pictures. Fans shouted his name. Reporters followed his every move. But fame is not always easy. It shines bright, and it burns too. One morning, he woke up and checked his phone. Hundreds of messages. Some were kind, "You're incredible," but others were not. "You missed a pass." "You're not good enough." "You're too young." For a moment, his heart sank. He didn't understand. Why did some people hate what others loved? He turned off the phone and looked in the mirror. He whispered, "Stay calm, Lamine. Focus on football." Every day, he went to training with the same energy. He listened to his coaches. He smiled with his teammates. But inside, he felt a new kind of pressure. He was no longer playing just for fun. He was playing for millions of eyes watching him. Every mistake was news. Every move was judged. One evening, after a long match, he sat alone in the locker room. The team had lost. He had missed an important chance. He felt tears in his eyes. His coach came and sat beside him. He said softly, "Yamal, do you know what pressure means?" Lamine shook his head. "It means people believe in you," the coach said. "They expect more because they see your light. But remember, you are still a boy. You must live, learn, and grow." Those words stayed in his heart. At home, his parents tried to protect him. His mother cooked his favorite food. His father told him stories about life before football. They wanted him to stay grounded. His father often said, "Fame is like the wind. It can lift you or push you down. Always keep your feet on the ground." So Lamine started to change his habits. He stopped reading comments online. He slept early. He trained harder. He spent more time with his little brothers. He smiled again. But fame followed him everywhere. At restaurants, people asked for autographs. At school, students whispered when he entered. Even simple things, like walking in the park, became hard. Still, he stayed calm. He remembered what really mattered: the ball, the field, the dream. During one interview, a reporter asked him, "How do you handle pressure?" He thought for a moment, then said, "I just play. When I touch the ball, the world becomes quiet." That simple sentence touched many hearts. It showed that behind the cameras and lights, there was still a humble boy who just loved football. One night, he looked out the window of his apartment in Barcelona. The city lights sparkled. He could see the top of Camp Nou in the distance. He smiled and whispered, "I'm still me. I'm still the boy from the street." He knew fame could come and go, but his love for the game, that would never change. And in that quiet moment, he made a promise to himself: no matter how big I become, I will always play with the same heart, the same joy, the same dream. Because for Lamine Yamal, football was never about fame. It was about passion. And that passion was stronger than any pressure. Chapter 9. A Future Full of Light. The world now knows his name, Lamine Yamal. But for him, this is not the end. It's just the beginning of a long road. Every morning, he wakes up early. No alarm needed. His body knows what to do. He ties his boots, steps on the grass, and breathes in the cool air. He whispers, "Let's work." He trains with energy, with focus, with love. He still feels the same joy he felt as a little boy on the street. The only difference now? The stadium is bigger, the crowd is louder, and the dream is real. Reporters ask him, "What is next for you, Yamal?" He smiles softly and says, "I want to learn more. I want to win with my team, and I want to make my country proud." He knows the journey is long. He knows new challenges will come. There will be good days and hard ones. There will be goals and mistakes. But he is ready for all of them. At home, he still helps his mother in the kitchen. He plays video games with his little brother. He laughs with his father. For them, he is not a superstar. He is just Lamine, the boy who never stopped dreaming. Sometimes he visits his old neighborhood. He walks past the small park where he used to play. Kids run to him, shouting, "Yamal! Yamal!" He smiles, picks up a ball, and joins their game. For a few minutes, it feels like the old days again. No cameras, no pressure, just football. After the game, one boy asks, "Do you think I can be like you one day?" Lamine puts his hand on the boy's shoulder and says, "Of course, you can be even better. Just believe in yourself and never stop." That's what he wants now. Not only to win matches, but to inspire others, to show every child that dreams can start anywhere, even in a small street with a dirty ball. His story travels far. To Morocco, where his father was born, to Equatorial Guinea, where his mother grew up, to Spain, where his heart beats the strongest. 3 countries. One boy, one dream. He becomes a symbol of hope, of hard work, of unity. People say He represents more than football. He represents what's possible. One night, after another big game, he sits alone on the team bus. The city lights pass by outside. He looks at his reflection in the window. He sees the same eyes, the same smile. Only now, those eyes have seen the world. He thinks about the journey, the early mornings, the long trainings, the first goal, the pressure, the love of the fans. And he smiles. He whispers quietly, "I'm still learning. I'm still growing, and my story is not finished." As the bus drives through the night, the stars above Barcelona shine bright. They look like tiny lights of hope. The same kind that once lived in his heart when he was a child. Now, those lights shine for others. For every boy and girl who dreams, for every child who believes, for everyone who dares to chase the impossible. Because Lamine Yamal showed the world. That age is just a number, that talent is nothing without heart, and that every dream, big or small, can one day come true. His story continues. New matches, new goals, new lessons. But one thing will never change. His love for the game and the light inside him that refuses to fade. And as long as that light shines, the future of football and the future of Lamine Yamal will always be full of light.